was good. Welcome back.
Like in a concert or something.
I know. I was like, dude, is Metallica here?
I wish my hair was longer.
Yeah,
like when
dude,
I was in high school.
I headbanged and it like started to hurt my neck, my back, my shoulders. We're fucking old.
God, dude.
Hey,
yeah. What's up?
Welcome back to Scattered Chaos. I'm Dave.
I'm Jeff. What's up?
We're back. Had a little hiatus last week, but that was just because we got really busy with our nonprofit, the zoo, the pause.
What didn't we get busy with last week?
And the zoo. We're really excited. We're going to be moving locations, and then probably by the end of the year.
The San Mateo Zoo.
Yes.
Barbershop.
Yeah, not
extraordinaire.
the zoo.
So Dave, well, yeah, we're
yeah, dude, we're scattered.
Yeah.
So I bought it the barbershop. I think I told you guys, but it's been a staple of San Mateo County. You have Shane, who started it back in 2003. And then 2013, he ended up selling it to Travis Sweeney, who I became really close with, who I really, really respect just as a human being.
Yeah.
I hope one day I'm going to be able to get him on the podcast because he is a very inspirational story that I think a lot of people could learn from. But I remember one day I was like, "Hey, if you want to sell, I'll buy." And he's laughed. We're laughing, fucking stupid.
Dave's their best customer, you can tell.
Oh yeah, dude, I'm there every fucking week. It's disgusting.
He's literally
every Thursday.
Not for a haircut, though.
Not for a haircut, beer cut only.
Yeah.
And then he said, "Let's."
I can say something else, but I won't. I won't.
Hey,
I won't.
okay, we're not going to talk about the circumcision at 43 years old. But so I bought the shop and revamping. It's going to be dope.
Yeah, it's cool.
Really excited to announce that. Officially, Mizutani blades are going to be in-house with us, which is amazing. They're a Japanese-based company that have offices here in San Francisco, and their product line is some of the best, used by the best in salons, and we're really excited to be partnering with them. Along with, we're going to get some new product line.
Mm-hmm.
Bosch is going to be coming in with us. We're really excited about that. Different bombs there. It's a Japanese-based company also.
Yeah.
So you can see a theme. We're kind of trying to trend out and see where we can, where the clientele base that we have will like. The price points are really good for our clients, so that's important.
Yeah. It's amazing.
We're going to expand the shop a little bit, going from 9 barbers to 12 barbers, maybe 14 barbers, but I think 12 will be our lucky number. And we have a big open space. We haven't really decided what we're going to do with it. Whether it be, a friend renting that space for their own service, or we decide to do a cafe, or we decide to do just a pool table there.
It's a blank slate now.
It's a massive 10 by 25 slate that would be so much fun to figure out. But
Yeah.
that's what we've been working on, and I apologize we missed the podcast, but we'll be good for the next couple of weeks. We got some in line this week. But today...
I have the topic.
He has the topic, and he didn't tell me what the topic is. So... we're fucked any which way.
Yeah, we're not going to stick to it anyways.
No, we
but
won't. So, Jeff,
yeah,
take the mic.
All right. So, living in the San Francisco Bay Area all of our lives, we have a certain affinity for the city. We don't call it Frisco. We don't call it San Fran. We don't call it any of that crap. We call it the city. We're born and raised here on the peninsula in the Bay Area. We call it the city.
Correct.
So, I love the city for what it looks like at night from the air.
35,000 feet.
Not walking in the Tenderloin.
Right.
I love the city for the history.
Yeah.
I love the city for everything it is to native San Franciscans, my dad being one of them.
Yeah.
But my topic today is give me your feelings on where San Francisco has been heading. Now, I don't want it politicized.
Well,
because we could do it.
I mean, you're going to have to put some of that in.
Yeah, I guess. But I just think where it's heading is a topic, and it's a big topic. So
I actually like this topic because first and foremost, as a son of immigrants, first line immigrants that came directly into the Bay Area. They didn't make a stop anywhere else. They came straight here because my uncle was living in San Francisco. San Francisco will always have a big piece of my heart.
For sure.
I was born in San Francisco. I can't say I remember if we ever lived in San Francisco. I think we did, but it was very short-lived, I think. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember. but I grew up in Millbrae,
Okay. Which is not San Francisco.
which is not San Francisco, which is
it's south of it.
south. It's literally across from SFO
Right.
for geographical landmarks. I actually grew up across the street from Chief Tim Guiney.
Oh, did you really?
My whole childhood.
Oh, interesting.
My dad and him knew each other. He knew me. I was a baby.
Was I know Tim was Broadmoor's chief.
Yes, he was He was always Broad.
He was always Broadmoor.
I don't think he went anywhere else. I can't speak on it.
Good man.
Yeah, and so I literally grew up with Katie and Michelle Guiney, not even knowing it.
Okay.
We were kitty corn like down the street, and we lived right next to Millbrae Montessori.
Yeah.
And there's a little baseball field over there,
Yeah.
and that's where we played soccer all the time.
Okay.
So that's where I grew up, most of my life.
Did you go to the city a lot though, as a kid?
I got older,
Yeah.
yes. When I was younger, yes, always, because my uncle lived on 19th and Terraville.
Okay.
His office, my aunt and uncle, sorry. My uncle's real estate company was on California, right off 19th.
Okay.
It was
Was it
Okay,
inner Sunset or
it was
outer?
outer Sunset, I would say. I don't
Okay.
remember exactly what street cross. I just remember how I remember that what's California is because I got in a horrible crash going to
geez.
visit him. I ran a red light by accident and head on into somebody.
Yikes.
And so I remember just being there. But San Francisco to me, if I look back 20 years, at 18 years old, I went to Academy of Art.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't. Oh, that's right. I remember you saying
Yeah,
this now.
and so I was big in graphic design. My brother got me into graphic design. We were working at Kinko's together. I left Kinko's because my brother left Kinko's. And John Tyler, who was the manager at the time, got me connected with Felix Marcelino. Who I know Rodrigo knows Felix. I think Tariq knows Felix too. He was he ran a graphic design in a print shop, or partnered with a print shop called Essence Printing. And going to Academy of Art, why I'm transitioning is because I went to Academy of Art because I was learning how to do graphic design.
That was downtown, right?
That was downtown. So I was
Okay.
on Montgomery and Howard.
Okay.
I remember taking BART, and this was truly the first time I ever went to San Francisco by myself. And I remember the first day I got on BART. Like, I wasn't scared or anything like that, but I was watching how diverse San Francisco was.
Oh, yeah.
And people coming from the south, because I was coming from Millbrae. I think it was San Bruno at the time. Millbrae wasn't open yet. And I'd go up and walk around San Francisco. That's Soma area. You have the art, you have the art museum there. You got all, obviously, what's it called? Is there all the hotels. So it's kind of like, it's a clean area per se.
But it's gotten better. Soma was never that
It was
cool.
never good.
South of Market, in case
Right.
you're wondering what Soma is.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's like the area where the ballpark is, Oracle Park and Chase Center now.
Yep.
It's really different now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember walking around and, you saw homeless people. I mean,
Yeah.
San Francisco's never not been a place of homelessness.
Right.
But it was very far and few between. I mean,
Right.
you would see, you go to the Tenderloin, obviously the drug problem over there.
Yeah.
But it really wasn't everywhere in San Francisco.
It didn't seem as rampant back in the day and
Big.
so prolific in all
Yep.
the city.
Yep. And so now, obviously COVID changed a lot for San Francisco. I can't speak on what it was like before COVID because I've never liked to go into the city just to go into the city.
Right. Isn't that weird?
I go for
like
the
people
baseball
come from all over the world to go to San Francisco. We live 5-10 minutes away from it, and we avoid it like the plague.
Dude,
It's crazy.
It is unfucking real. Rodrigo's dad was here from Brazil, and we were like, we want to go to Alcatraz. It was the first time I think Jenny ever been to Alcatraz. Mike, obviously Rodrigo, and it was my second time, right?
And
But,
you've lived here all your life.
I've lived here all my life.
Right.
I've been to Pier 39 maybe 5 times in my life.
Right.
We used to go a lot down to, Union Square because my sister and brother worked for Macy's.
Oh,
They're in
nice.
corporate.
Okay.
So we spent a lot of time there during those times, during Christmas with all the
Of
lights.
course. Yes.
I mean, it was fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Like all the lights at night. I mean, you didn't walk
The
around
tree, the wreaths in the
dude,
windows.
the big
yeah.
menorah that they had, like
Beautiful.
it was like they really the city understood the people that live there.
right.
Now,
Yeah. Let's fast forward.
now you fast forward to now, and I just think we've talked about this a lot in a couple of episodes.
Right.
The San Francisco is so fucked up because of two things, I believe:
Okay.
leadership,
Yep.
and mental health.
100%.
I don't think you could blame anything on the police. I don't think you blame anything on the people that live in San Francisco, because the people who live in San Francisco and who love San Francisco want San Francisco to go back to what it was.
Yeah.
And that's what the hope is. And today we were at Amazon and when we did our walk around,
Right.
and I was talking to, I believe his name's Mark. He's a young kid from Texas. He came out of San Antonio, been here, he moved here 3 years ago. Lives with his wife, Outer Sunset. And she's a biologist.
Wow.
And I said to him, I said, what do you think? He's like, it's culture shock.
Well, for sure.
It's
Especially for Texas.
Texas.
That's a free state.
That's a free state, and then you
Yeah.
come to a locked state. right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
yeah.
But going back to like, I don't want to bring politics, but it really
Well,
does.
it boils down to that.
It boils down to it. I
Yeah.
mean, and this is not just on the city level. I mean, the state level. I'm
Well,
sorry.
we're a sanctuary state, sanctuary city.
I mean, look at what Gavin Newsom did during fucking the pandemic.
Mm.
He told all wineries shut the fuck up and close your doors
Mhm.
while he's having dinner at his winery.
Right.
And it's all over the news. You can't hide behind shit like that.
Right.
Right?
Right.
When you have a politician who really doesn't care about the people.
Clearly.
And I mean, I just read an article that the head of the Chief Association for California,
Yeah.
I guess, has a meeting once a year or twice a year. All the chiefs come
The
together.
sheriff's deputy association, I think. Right.
Is that what it is?
That he doesn't do it with them.
He's the only
right.
person who sat
I
in
saw
the
that.
governor in the governor's seat that hasn't. Every single one, even who opposed
Right.
the sheriffs,
Right.
still showed up.
Yeah.
And
It's
to
their
me-
duty.
To me, it's like you don't know what's really going on. And he goes down the street walking around with Kamala Harris and saying, "Oh, we're gonna get the National Guard in here," and blah 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 blah.
Well, okay, so back to your point on the leadership. Where's the San Francisco leadership taking that bull by the horns and saying, "Hey, we don't have enough enforcement. We don't prosecute
Good enough.
things that are happening in the city."
Yep.
We see it every single day, and I follow Stanley Roberts. You know Stanley.
I fucking
yeah,
love him.
He's great, right?
Yep.
That guy finds videos of stuff that's going on every day.
Mhm.
Of grab and runs, thefts, major things happening, the
Yep.
drug use.
Yep.
We got to bring in the CHP. We got to bring in the National Guard
Jesus.
to help combat the fentanyl epidemic. How about we get people into treatment programs? We arrest them for drugs.
Yep.
You and I arrested people for minute amounts of controlled substances back in the day, and it was a felony.
Yep.
Now it's a cite and release, or it's a, hey, get out of here.
Right. Because it's not worth
We're
it.
not going to do anything to you.
I mean, it's just really hard because, I mean, we were at the Overwatch Collective event this past weekend. And
Amazing.
If I could just pause for a second.
Yeah, do it for sure.
I want to give the Overwatch Collective fucking mad props.
Yeah.
I got to tell you guys, if you guys don't follow them, please just go look them up.
Yeah.
They are a nonprofit. It's run by Greg Grogan
Kelsey Parker, Jesse Coulter,
and the
Donna,
parent.
and
the parents are all involved.
Yeah.
And they put on an event that was mind-blowing. I thought that all the work they did and what they're doing is phenomenal. And I think they raised $70,000.
I think 75.
Yeah. I mean,
It's awesome.
I will say 5 of that was my drunken side, but
No, it was your generous
my
side.
generous side, sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
But I truly believe in what they're doing because I go to therapy.
Yeah.
And I think therapy is fucking amazing. And if what's their saying?
One more is one less.
And it's a perfect saying for them. And I loved that we're a part of it. I love that they've included
Amazing.
us. So big ups to you guys. Go
So
follow them.
it's a perfect segue, though.
Yeah.
How many people in San Francisco on the streets right now don't have health care, can't get mental health treatment,
Yep.
can't get therapy, don't know about a place like Talk that can help them? How many of those people are vets? How many of those people are potential first responders that couldn't take it and are on the streets and lost everything, lost their marriages? We talked to so many people at the Talk event
Yeah.
that have gone through those struggles,
Yeah,
right?
and they're able to go get medical. They're able to.
Right.
I mean, but even the event we went yesterday,
Yeah.
Italia Fest or Fest Italia.
Festa Italiana, yeah.
Okay, and this was the first
Amazing.
time. It was amazing. Another great event. We were exhausted from the night before. Well, at least I was, and
That's a whole nother
that's another
podcast.
That is. Woo boy.
Doggy.
So I brought Zero out. You set up the booth. Rock was there. Your parents were there. It was so much fun.
It was fun.
It was an Italian festival in South San Francisco. Great job to their crew, and we'll tag them in there today.
Amazing.
Get some props. But we met a lot of old timers.
Yeah.
Who South City. Well, I mean, when I say that, senior experienced
community
officers, community residents that like are so connected to the bigger picture.
Totally.
And so they've invited us to all these things to do and talk and get involved.
Yeah.
But I truly think that if an organization like Talk can do what they're doing for such a small amount of people,
Right.
imagine if the state actually cared and did something.
Oh my God. Just subsidized treatment for those that can't do it.
I mean,
It's not about health care. It's
No.
not about insurance companies.
Well, and that's the problem is because it's this trickle down effect, right?
It is.
So you go to the doctors, they, depending on what kind of doctor you have, I love my doctor. He definitely is not the kind of doctor that pushes medication on me.
Right.
But you've heard the stories of like what happened with OxyContin back in the day. How
Right.
the sale- prescribe,
Prescribe,
and you get
yeah.
a kickback, or you go to Florida to fucking hang out with your friends. Like those are the kind of things that like
Yeah.
it causes this large financial burden on the state.
Yeah.
And you have these companies that are like Pfizer and all these other private companies that their job is to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Now, unless the government gets into making medicine, we're pretty much fucked here.
They won't because big pharma's got their grasp around their throat.
That's the only way they get reelected.
Yep.
Is big pharma.
Big money.
Big money. I
Oh
mean,
my God, it's so corrupt. I'm sorry.
yeah, and it's like, Rodrigo took me to a meeting of concierge in San Francisco, which was a great event. And we were driving and talking, and we were kind of looking around, and it was completely dead. Nobody walking around. You see homeless people everywhere. Like, it is so bad. And I just don't understand at what point will the mayor of San Francisco say, fuck, I need to do something, or my city is going to be shot to shit. Because they've already lost Westgate Shopping Center.
Shopping Center?
Yeah, they lost that, and now all the stores in Union Square are talking about, dude. I think it was Louis Vuitton or something had a snatch and grab where they now have to lock the doors
Yeah.
to let people in.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Well,
that's
look at the conventions that are saying no more San Francisco.
dude. We were in Vegas for the barbershop.
Yeah.
Do you remember we saw the
Yeah.
Oracle Worlds there now?
Right?
That was
That used to be Moscone.
Moscow. That was one of the biggest events for us.
Yeah.
Salesforce is talking about doing the same thing.
Yeah.
We have OPEC coming in next month, which is going to be big for
Right.
San Francisco.
Right.
But like, once they experience what's going on,
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody wants to come do events here.
Why would you?
And if the city's not willing to clean up, I mean, listen, I rely on hospitality.
Right.
The limousine company relies on people coming to California, to San Francisco,
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And I mean, San Francisco is bad, but so is Los Angeles.
My
But Los
daughter.
Angeles is a lot spread out, way
Yeah.
more spread out than San Francisco.
It is. It's way bigger.
Yeah,
So it's not as concentrated.
sure.
But you go to Skid Row down there,
It's just it's double. But I mean,
It's-
go to Oakland,
it's terrible. Yeah.
dude. You got the tents under the freeways. I mean, like
that catch fire,
that.
that cause public safety hazards.
I mean, we have it here in South City.
Yeah.
If you go down towards 101 Terminal Court, that ravine, they're all under there.
Yeah.
South City PD had to come in and clean them up, and it's constantly a revolving thing. It's like,
Yeah.
But again, it comes down to money, right? Well, we've talked about this. San Francisco is at 35,000 feet is the most beautiful city in the
Right.
world.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good fight with them in New York.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I know
I've never been to New York, so
I've seen New York from above, and it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
But like even New York's having issues.
Of course.
Every big city's having issues. The thing is, it hurts my heart because it's hurting such a beautiful city that has such history.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, it's hurting my business. And we have 75 drivers in the limo side, or 45, 55, whatever the driver amount is.
Yeah.
If it doesn't get better, I don't know if the San Francisco market's going to be worth being in anymore.
Right.
And so what do I do? Sell all my stuff
Right.
and go as a broker? What happens to all my people that worked hard for me? I mean, most of my guys Ricky's been with me 10 years, 11 years, and then everybody else was from 2016.
Right.
I think Tariq, you were 2017 or 18, something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, so he's like, he's 6, 7 years. How am I going to be able to turn to them and say, I'm sorry, but the city's not booming anymore,
Right.
and we're getting hurt.
And this is from a perspective of a businessman,
Sure,
right?
sure.
Now, and a perspective of law enforcement that we have our background
We have
in,
a little jaded.
and a perspective of being lifetime residents of this area.
Yeah.
Now, what we don't have is a perspective of the people on the streets.
Sure.
And I don't know what it causes, but what causes it, I should say.
Sure.
But we've had our experiences with homeless people that
Mm-hmm.
while we were working, and we would ask, do you want to go to a shelter? There is space. We can get you housing. We can take care of you.
Yeah.
And I would say, in my 20 years in uniform, I could say I think maybe I took one to a shelter that wanted to go.
Yeah. I mean, Daly City, when I worked for Daly, well, specifically Burlingame, we didn't really have the problem. We had a couple that would come walking through, probably from San Mateo. They would come from the train or something like that. Daly City, we had some. I remember actually we had a regular in Burlingame. He was an officer. He was a I won't say who the kid's name is, but he was the uncle of one of our explorers, and he's now with SFPD.
Oh.
He was with San Bruno PD.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
And
I
you
do.
remember it was kind of my first experience of dealing with homeless people. And
Yeah.
he was honestly, one of the nicest men
Yeah,
in the world, but he just had bad luck.
bad luck. Right.
And I remember talking to him once, and I don't remember the whole story, but I do remember him saying that like he just can't hold on to a job because of his mental state.
Okay.
And he was a
There we
vet.
have it.
He was a vet, if I remember correctly. And that's, I think, where the problem is.
Yeah.
It is truly easier to give up on the fight.
Sure.
I mean, we could
We
speak
could
on it,
speak of that very easily.
but when you have nobody there to support you, like these guys and gals on the street,
Yeah.
who are you going to turn to? The other people that are having the same problems? I mean,
What makes the pain go away for them, right?
yeah. I mean,
What's
look,
the easy escape?
I think at the end of the day, the drugs are the first it was first we were going through, it was crack, and then
Right.
it was heroin,
Right.
and then it was now fentanyl. I mean,
Right.
these are I don't know I don't know a lot about fentanyl because I wasn't working when fentanyl was really
Right.
anything.
Right.
But I mean, the fact is that we are leading a path that I don't know if we could ever come back from, especially with the drugs.
It's terrible, open air markets, things like that. Now you're seeing it in Portland
Yeah.
that all the defunding of the police officers and you can't arrest and we're going to allow open air injection markets, etc.
Yep.
Now they're kind of walking that back and saying, we're going to start prosecuting for this. We're going to start arresting for this.
Yep.
Okay, so the pendulum is swinging back now.
Right.
Is that going to necessarily solve the problem? It's not going to.
But
It's not.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, statistics are going to show.
Right.
Obviously, I think there's a part of it where you have to look at like, if you prosecute now. Okay, so there's, in my opinion, there are a couple types of druggies.
Right.
There are druggies who just do drugs because they have nothing else to do.
Right.
Druggies that have mental health issues, and I don't know if there's a third one. Maybe not. Maybe just two.
Well, there's recreational, right?
Right.
There's habitual, and then there's addicts.
There you go. So
Yeah, yeah.
you get the habitual who's like, I just do drugs casually,
Right.
right? And then the recreational guys are like, I'm going to a party, let me pop some Molly.
Right.
And then you got the guys that are doing the drugs
Truly addicted.
truly addicted
Mm-hmm.
and are spiraling. I will never forget. I was in Daly City. I was on patrol. It was 9:00 in the morning on a Sunday morning. I was parked up on the hill at a stop sign, which everybody ran. It was right next to Classic Bowl.
Okay.
I
I know
sat-
exactly what you're talking
I
about.
sat
Yeah.
there, and sat there, and here comes a car, comes to the stop sign, perfect stop,
And stay stopped.
and stays stopped. And I'm thinking to myself, shit, like, first of all, he's not violating any laws at this point.
Right.
And then suddenly I see him just like nod off and back up.
Wow.
And so I was a young officer there, and I was still trying to, you know, I had probable cause. Something was wrong,
Right.
but I had to find something more because I didn't want it to be, this cop, just judging me.
Right.
So brake light was out. The typical brake light was out. Pulled him over. 19-year-old San Francisco State student.
Wow.
And I go, hey, what's up? And right away I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, what's up, dude? What are you on? Oh man, I partied last night. I'm like, when did you stop partying? He's like, like an hour ago. It's like, it's 9 o'clock at night, right? I'm like,
Wow.
I'm on, no, it's 9 o'clock in the morning. And he was just out.
Yeah.
Very, very coherent, very respectful, nothing aggressive. And I asked him, I said, what's going on? He's like, man, I'm not doing good in school. My dad kicked me out of the house. Now I've got to live on the couch. And I'm like, but there's at San Francisco State, there's, programs that could help you. He's like,
Right.
yeah, but I've gone through them, but I'm addicted to heroin.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and
It's so sad.
Which I've never understood. And I can say that I have an addicted personality. I know that for a fact. And first in my life it was food, then it was marijuana, then it was food again because of marijuana, and then lately, alcohol has become kind of my crutch when I'm, getting in a mode or, mad at something or someone, and I use it. So I know I have that.
Right.
But not to say any is better than the other, because everything is, to me, the same. It's just the risk level. That's the difference between me being, quote unquote, an alcoholic or addicted to alcohol to somebody who's addicted to heroin, because they're doing it for the same reason I'm doing it.
Yeah.
But the level of risk they're taking is
Yeah, and I think the addiction probably happens quicker.
Sure.
With the substances.
Oh,
that,
for sure.
That are synthetic for the most part.
Yep.
Whereas alcoholism probably takes a little longer, to have its full effect. But yeah, it's, I guess, an addictive personality. There's so many things you can't figure out for everybody. What does it? What gets you there? Everybody has their own release. What gets you to the streets? What gets you beyond the point where you can't help yourself? And I see sometimes what San Francisco tries to do, but is it really helping the situation by building buildings and letting people come in and inject heroin?
No.
Does that help? That's a solution they came up with, though.
Well, they figure, if we could hide it, it doesn't happen.
That's exactly what it is.
But the reality is, why not take that building, put cots in it, have a place for them to live?
And how about a treatment center?
Right. Have this
detox
is
center.
your new home. We're going to put you here for 90 days to help you get clean.
Yep.
And then we're going to help you get a job.
Yes, we're going to place you. We're going to get you a haircut, shower. We're going to get you a warm meal every day.
Look in the mirror. My thing is that if you I would hope to God, and I pray one day somebody takes a mirror and puts it in front of their face and says, is this truly you?
Right.
And then one day later, after they get a haircut and that's something honestly, I'm not going to lie to you. I've been, with this whole barber thing, one of the things that I've thought of doing is figuring out a way to do a group home type haircut place. Go to a group home, go to somewhere that they can't afford to get a haircut.
Yeah.
And fundraise.
Yeah.
And do get the barbers to all chip into it.
Be amazing.
I mean, I can imagine what they feel like inside and what they probably feel like, what they see, how they feel about themselves. Outside is as worse as than inside.
Imagine your self-esteem when you can't even take a shower or get a haircut
Go to
or
get a
feel
haircut.
clean.
And my nails grow 1 centimeter. I'm freaking out.
Right.
I can't even imagine being that.
Well, that's OCD.
That's OCD. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the fact is that the city has to find solutions. We're taking a beautiful city. Not we. They are taking a beautiful city and ruining it.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's all over the media.
I don't see how somebody could sit behind a desk in San Francisco in any ruling or governing capacity and watch it the demise
Sure.
of this beautiful place.
Yeah.
That so many of us do care about.
Yeah.
We may not visit it every day, but we care about it. How can you sit there in with a conscience and say it's okay what's happening out there?
Sure.
I just don't understand that. If I was in a governing capacity, I would do everything within my power to help those who are the most underprivileged, to help those that I can't say that they're, a black eye on the city.
Sure,
But,
sure.
but from an outsider looking in, I feel so bad when I see people coming in from all over the world, and they're like walking scared around homeless encampments.
Sure.
And people, we've seen it where I saw a gentleman on the lawn at I can't remember the park up in the city, and
Chrissy Field.
no, it was the one that's across from the Painted Ladies, I think. Oh, no, it was Alamo Park. Excuse me. It was Alamo Park.
Okay.
And he was lying there asleep, and all of a sudden he snapped out of it like a zombie.
Yeah.
And he took a pen, and he was literally stabbing the grass, and he was screaming. And so I'm with my family.
Right.
So I'm pushing them aside, and I'm buffering between he and they.
Right.
And I'm like, whoa. And then all of a sudden he stops. And then he starts doing it again. And I'm like, okay, there's definitely some substance involved here.
For sure.
Obviously,
Yeah.
some intoxicant of some sort. But there's a mental health issue
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
This guy should be committed.
Yeah.
He's a danger to himself and others.
Sure.
We all know how that goes.
Yeah.
And I think, these stories are everywhere. People are videotaping it every day
It's
and posting
all over
it. It's
Facebook,
all
Instagram.
over.
And then you talk to, I talk to friends. I'm in an industry with the limo business where all of us have business that comes into San Francisco.
right.
And I was talking to my buddy Joe, and he was like, I came to San Francisco and I was disgusted.
Absolutely.
And it's not just the homeless problem.
No, it's
crime-
cleanliness. It's crime.
Crime is, we had a driver who basically got stuck up in San Francisco.
Yeah.
He was at a restaurant waiting for a client. The client texted him saying he's coming out with, I think, two girls, his wife, or I don't know who they were. The girl, he pulls up. He's right in front of the restaurant. The two girls come in, and these 4 gentlemen of a certain race came at them. And literally put a gun to one of my drivers and say, give me your stuff. And the driver's like, I don't got anything. What do you want from me? And then suddenly our client, who was a famous athlete, he basically stuck up, and then they pistol whipped him.
Are you
and
kidding me?
Stole his shoes and his watch, I think it was. And yeah, in the head, dude. And it was a shock to all of us. Like,
Brazen.
it's brazen everywhere. And it hit home. For us, our driver, he grew up in the streets, so he handled himself well. He
Right.
knew how to not engage in the situation,
Right.
and he protected the ladies more than anything. The guy, I think he's 6'3" basketball player. So it was one of those things that it's just and they were out here for the girlfriend's birthday. And they were supposed to go do Napa, and we had to take him to the hospital. Driver stayed with him at the hospital and brought them back. And the next day, the guy calls the driver and was like, hey, you know what? Because you were there for me and protected me, I want to go to Napa. We're going to go to Napa, and we're going to have a good time,
Good.
all of us together.
Good.
And he didn't let it stop. But not everybody would do that,
Right.
because, it was brazen. It was like 9 o'clock at night. In a pretty, Geary Street, right? It was at, what's the restaurant called? It's this big, Mastro's,
Wow.
right in front of Mastro's.
And he's now a victim of a violent crime.
Yeah.
He's traumatized from that. His two companions are traumatized. The driver probably isn't doing well, even though he may have seen this kind of thing growing up there.
Yeah.
But there's such a ripple effect now.
It's massive. We've had a couple incidents. We had a driver who took a client up to Eureka, or no, they were going to, I think it was Eureka.
Oh, God.
And he went up there. They went into a meeting at this warehouse. It's probably marijuana home, business.
Yeah.
He comes out, and they're getting in the car, and the guy's like, we need to get out of here fast. And the car got shot up. And
God.
Gary was the driver.
Oh,
And you
he's-
know Gary.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
I love that dude, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
He needed time off.
Oh.
We needed time off.
I don't blame him.
And I remember I said to him, how are you feeling? He's like, I'm scared. I was scared,
Absolutely.
but his adrenaline took in. And I remember, I don't know if he made the comment or I said something to him. It was something like, fuck, dude, it's like a Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Like his ability to drive faster suddenly kicked in, and he's a super safe driver.
Yeah.
Other than the only thing that he has wrong going for him is that he likes to talk to people a lot. And,
Well,
and it's not a bad thing.
it's bad in the limo world
Yeah, I mean, sometimes.
for high-end clients.
But then you
yeah.
have clients that are just like, he has so much knowledge. And I'm just like, I love
Okay.
you, Gary.
Well,
You do you. Just
yeah.
don't get a complaint. That's
Yeah,
all I ask, right?
exactly.
And Gary, you're going to listen to this. I know because you love us. I love you. You're a great chauffeur. Continue doing what you're doing. And
Yeah, for
congratulations
sure.
on getting your Class B license.
Yeah.
Oh, talk about that for a second. Hey, mister, I don't want to take the drug
just-
test.
I did take the drug test. What are you talking about?
Rodrigo, did you take the drug test?
Did I?
Did he
Thank
pass?
you. Thank you. Yes, I did.
So what didn't he do yet?
I didn't go get my permit yet.
Guess.
Oh, I have to do my medical.
Oh, he doesn't want to be.
I just don't. I don't want to get on the scale.
I'm scared.
Sorry.
That explains
Jeez, man. But we digress as
always
usual.
do.
But we laugh about these things now.
Yeah.
And not to be like serious and downtrodden about everything, but like we have pride here.
100%.
You know, we have pride in where we live, and we see that certain politicians and what their agendas are ruining this state.
Yeah.
For those of us that have been born and raised here, it's like we don't even recognize this state anymore.
Nope.
You have people coming here that say, I've saved up for 3 years to bring my family to San Francisco, and I came here and I got robbed.
Yeah.
And my vehicle got burglarized, and all of my laptop and everything that, and we were
Smash
gone
and
for
grabs.
2 minutes, you know, and or they sit there and they witness a 40-person robbery crew come in and literally clean out a Louis Vuitton place. It's just, and it's become so normalized. And this is society, though. We talked about school shootings. We talked about it on a podcast that we did earlier.
Sure.
You hear about it. Okay, it wasn't in my backyard. I move on.
Right.
Right? And,
Right.
and the normalization of these horrible things, dude, it's like we're so numb to this shit that we really don't even pay attention to it anymore.
It's in the news every day. I mean,
Every day.
I stopped watching local news.
Yes.
I read Apple News of like the world stuff because to me, I can't do anything about what's happening in San Francisco. I would invest if I knew that it would go to the right thing.
Right.
And I think because you talk politics, we try to stay away from the
The rabbit hole.
Yeah, the rabbit hole of politics of the
Yeah.
red and the blue. The reality is California has always been a blue state.
Yep.
They're very liberal on a lot of the things. They don't think that punishing for crime is a good idea.
Right.
You know, you have the governor who raises, the minimums. You have the chiefs fighting back. You have trying to get more support from the city, but then you have the defund the police because of, different things that have happened unjustly
Yeah.
in times. And then the ones that were justified were blown out of proportion because they weren't explained. We never got the full story.
Right.
And that's another part of it.
Yeah. Dude.
We don't get anything full story.
You get what they want you to get.
And whatever sells, right?
God, it's so frustrating, man.
I'm going to tell you a story. We talking about smash and grabs. So we had one of our Cadillacs during COVID. We had one of our Cadillacs on Turo, and it was funny because Rodrigo was like, "Hey, this is gonna be like a 3-4 day rental." I was like, "Cool, it's our first kind of thing to do." And so we start like watching, every day. Rodrigo's. We have GPS in the car, so Rodrigo's seeing the car kind of moving everywhere, and we can't get a response from the guy, right, Rodrigo? He's not responding. We're not responding. We find out that he's in Vegas. So we send one of our drivers to find the vehicle. And I remember he found the vehicle, right? And then the guy replied back saying, "Oh, I'm on my way back from Vegas. I'll be back the next day," or something to that extent. The next day comes, nowhere to be found, nothing. Finally, I say to Rodrigo, "Rodrigo, we need to get the car. We have a spare key to have Naeem to give you a ride and you'll find it." This is out of a fucking movie, dude. He's like, "Dave, where's the car?" I told him exactly where the car is. He gets to the car, and as he's parked, if I'm mistaken, tell me. As he's parked, these guys get out of the vehicle, he sees them in the vehicle. He gets out of the vehicle, and they start breaking into cars.
Gosh.
And so he calls me. He's like, "Dave, blah blah blah." I was like, "All good." I call San Francisco PD. I'm like, "Listen, we have a car that's been, it's not reported stolen yet because it's under Turo.
Yeah.
But my driver just witnessed them smash and grab at this location. And if I'm not mistaken, the victim was there, right, walking up, right? It was a family. And so they zoom off, right, because they see they're getting caught.
Right.
And Rodrigo's, chasing him, not going high speed. They go into a parking lot, a parking garage, and I call SFPD. I'm on the phone with SFPD, giving them the track because I have the GPS.
We're in pursuit.
Yeah, we're in pursuit in the car.
Right.
Like I'm like, Tom, no, turn right here, turn left here.
I
It's
can
like
see Rodrigo, man, putting his old bubblegum machine on top of his car, out the window. Ah!
And he, like a siren.
He loves cops, so I
He
mean,
does
that
love-
was his moment.
Dude, so SFPD comes up swooping. They get him. They're all cars full of laptops.
Jeez.
5 people.
Wow.
5 people. They arrested 5 people. Dude, they went from the Bay Area to Vegas and did all these smash and grabs. Wow. And San Francisco PD called me, said, hey, I need you to give me all the tracking. I downloaded all the tracking. They ended up, if I'm not mistaken, like they had like over 25 charges.
Holy crap.
And we never got subpoenaed to court.
That's a good pinch, bro.
Yeah, dude.
Good pinch,
Dude,
baby.
not even a cop, and he's got 2,500.
Right?
I mean, I'm proud of the guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he is.
He's our undercover brother right
yeah,
here.
he's our undercover brother. But I bring it up because it's like you just never know when it's going to happen.
Right.
And
You're doing a service of getting somebody a vehicle, helping humanity, and they go out and use it to commit crimes. It's crazy. We could talk about this forever.
And I think the topics we bring up, to be really honest,
we could
go and go and go. And I mean,
Yeah.
the reality is that I hope, not that it's going to happen, I hope the mayor maybe hears this or
Yeah.
hears what's really the talk of the town now,
Yeah.
that nobody wants to come here.
Well, her response was hilarious to me. She's like, "Well, what would Beyonce do?" That's her slogan. When she's asked about
Do
tough
not
things.
get me started on Beyonce.
I'm serious, dude. This is what she says, and it's like, I get it. She's saying, "Oh, she's a strong woman" and all those things. I get that, but you got to be a mayor. You got to be a leader.
Yeah,
You got to
this
make
is not
decisions.
a man-woman thing.
It's not.
It's
it
a
has
humanity
nothing to do with
thing.
that. It has. You swore an oath,
Yeah.
right? Just like everybody does in public service,
Yep.
to do the right thing for your constituents, for the people who elected you in.
Yeah.
Politicians, with the exception of a few who I know personally,
Sure.
they break their oaths constantly. They forget.
I think that we can go around and around.
I
on
know,
this.
dude.
And
I know.
And I feel like I'm gonna.
We could do a part 2.
We could, and I will leave it at this. I am part of a national association.
Yeah.
And we're all volunteers. And I think sometimes when people are put on a pedestal because they're quote unquote leaders, they tend to forget where they came from and who they were.
Happens all the time.
And I think the same thing goes with mayors.
Yeah.
And I think that the problem is they got this position and they ran on a ticket of change.
Of course.
But then what happens is it's the old regime, old way of doing things. How are we going to break the cycle? How can I break the cycle? How do I make it better without ruffling the feathers of the people that gave me the money when I told them I was going to do the opposite of what I was saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where we're at. I think politics has always been a shady business. Minus a few,
Yeah.
I think every politician goes in it for the right reason.
100%. Yes.
But once they're in it, they get
Mhm.
jaded by what is just the reality.
And the benefits that
Come with it,
Yeah,
right? I
yeah.
mean, I can't imagine the benefits that some of our people, Gavin Newsom, I know does. You mean flies private jets to Florida during COVID and
Right.
wants to talk bad about DeSantis.
Right.
I mean, DeSantis. I don't know much about DeSantis, but I mean, we saw a bunch of mayors and governors going to Florida on vacation during COVID,
Mhm.
where we were stuck here.
Well, COVID didn't exist in Florida, right?
no, and Texas either.
And Texas, yeah,
Right.
yeah, that's true.
But I mean, I hope that as the economy gets the recession out and the inflation out eventually,
Yeah.
maybe the cities and states are going to be able to start doing more for the people that live in it. Because we've talked about this, I think, on the podcast. We are losing a lot of people
Oh,
to other states.
mass exodus.
And those other states are not happy about getting California.
No, they don't like us.
They don't like us.
They
and
don't like
for
us.
damn good fucking reason.
Yeah.
We are really.
Well, we're behind enemy lines out here, bro.
Right.
Let's just be honest.
But I mean, the reality is,
its
I think you could take California, pull
own country.
Orange County out, push everything together, and like that's Orange County is like what I call the red state.
Really?
Oh, they're super red.
Oh, really?
Huntington Beach, woo,
Okay.
Dude, all of Orange County, all they want to do is be left alone.
Yeah.
Everybody else wants to be involved in every little bit.
Right.
Now, I do agree that you have to put up fights when you have to put up fights for what's right and wrong.
Pick and choose.
Pick and choose your fight.
Mm-hmm.
But like, if we don't change the climate in California,
we're doomed.
But I can't see myself living anywhere else because the weather fucking rocks.
It's so
here.
bad, dude. It's so expensive. It's so homeless problem. There's so drug problem. There's this. But God, dude, the weather's good. Go to the beach right now. Drive
In
up
shorts.
to Tahoe and you have snow. I mean,
dude,
it's crazy.
we were out last night and it was windy and I had shorts on. It was cool. You can't get better weather. Me and Rodrigo, every time we come home, first thing we say is, "Oh God, I love this weather."
I know.
You can't beat this weather.
You can't.
But
we pay a price on the backside of it.
And we have to pick and choose our battles, right?
Yeah.
What do we? Unfortunately, I can't go anywhere for a while or at all. I don't know if I will ever.
I'm stuck here.
Yeah, we're basically kind of in the same boat. But
yeah.
Man, I don't know. We can. Bitch
I love it. This is the conversation that needs to happen with other people, though.
Right, we need to. We have a great time going back and forth.
Yeah.
But we really need to start getting people in here that maybe are the opposite.
And we can ask those tough questions to and say, "Hey, you're up there."
Yeah, if you're interested, I will bring you guys out here. I'll fly you from Sacramento. Just, if you guys are interested, anybody is interested in being on this podcast to talk about a topic, let me know. I'm totally into bringing people. You don't have to talk to me. You can talk to Jeff, even Rodrigo, maybe. Anybody. Just come out here. And, we need to start, the conversations need to keep going for there to be change, right?
It needs to be, there needs to be every side of the story, not a manufactured agenda being put out.
Hashtag time for change.
Wow.
That's my slogan for the NLA.
You know what, though? That's kind of Brady Bunch-ish. There's a song from Greg Brady on that. But you're probably too young to even know
What are you talking about, Brady Bunch?
When Greg goes through puberty, dude.
Oh, I don't remember.
It's time to change. You got to rearrange.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
but I remember the show. I watched the show. I don't remember the lines. Oh, I give out.
I'm so old, dude.
Yeah, you are.
Come on, it's a Brady Bunch.
Did we get his cane yet?
Wow.
Walker with the
Let me go take
balls?
What do I have to take today? That my my Metamucil.
Metamucil.
What else do I need?
Ligament medicine,
dude.
All right. Well, I think we've tapped this topic, or we go again. Fuck.
We can't. We can't. Yeah. No. I appreciate your perspectives, though, and I think our perspectives, all of us, we have different views of it, and I think. I hope you're watching and you understand that, we're very San Francisco centric. That's where we live, right? So we talk a lot about our local stuff, but this applies to the rest of California. Yeah. Because it's happening everywhere.
It's happening everywhere. It's not even just California. I mean, I'm hearing it's stuff that's happening in Texas, too.
Yeah.
I think homelessness
Here we go. I thought we were ending. No, let's do it.
Homeless has been a problem forever.
Yeah.
We've just never found a solution. It's time to find a solution. That's it.
Yeah.
That's bottom line.
That's a deep, dark rabbit hole, I think.
Yeah, it is. So, Jeff, thank you.
Hey,
Always
you,
good
brother.
to sit with you.
It's amazing.
I know.
Is fun.
So we'll be back next week on a new topic.
Sure.
And I hope to see you guys again.
Scattered
This is Scattered Chaos Podcast. I'm out. I like this. Whoa.
Wow.
That was good.